And it was good to see you out at camp last week. Football season underway, 4 practices in the books, and another week of Urban Meyer camp starts on Monday for the Jacksonville Jaguars. What a fun vibe in Jacksonville now around this football team. Stark difference from 1-15 a year ago. While the Jags are yet to win a game, and how many they actually will win in 2021 is certainly debatable. The tide feels like it's turning under Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence. Hello and welcome to Action Sports Jax Primetime. I'm Brent Martineau. Only 6 more Sundays without NFL football that counts. Jags day off today, so let's talk about a big 3 things we've seen thus far. And it starts with Urban Meyer. Players are all in. They are raving about the sports science program that Meyer has brought to Jacksonville. That includes a rejuvenation room in the building that didn't exist in the past. Practices are crisp, high energy. People like to note tempo at practice, and it's certainly there. Red zone work, 2-minute drill work, the details of a football game are going to be repped a lot. All of this, and Urban Meyer says it's hard to learn a lot in the first few days without pads. Pads go on Tuesday, so let the competition begin.
The reality of 90 players that you're going to knock it down to 53, that's reality. I had a chat with the team about that, and I think I want to take the subjectivity out of it. And it's a little bit like when we had Joe Burrow and Dwayne Haskins. I mean, my gosh, 2 first-round draft picks. You can't. It's not fair to a player to not have objectiveness in there, and that means chart everything. Not yet, because nothing's competitive yet. So starting Monday, it's going to be, we're going to try to take the subjectivity out of who plays and who makes the team.
I mean, his motivation, like I said, is just to own it. I mean, we have all the motivation we need. Is what we do here in camp will dictate what happens when we step on the field August 14th, and then again September 12th when we play the Texans. So, I mean, that's all the motivation we need. He's done a great job of really putting on us, and we got to own it and putting us in a position and taking care of us and giving us all the resources we need. But at the end of the day, the team has to make the decision of who they're going to be and how good they're going to be.
It's Urban's camp, but it feels like Camp Trevor as well, right? It is all about number 16, and it's been a pleasure to watch the rookie QB through the first 4 days. He is the real deal, folks. It's simple. He's the real. I've been texting people that say, I wasn't so sure about Trevor. Well, be sure about Trevor. He's a real deal. We don't know what that will look like on Sundays and for the next decade, but the Jaguars have themselves a bona fide quarterback to build around and to compete with the best in the NFL. On the field, in the building, in the community, this guy is it, and he's showcasing the on-the-field portion with electric throws and a lot of development in a few months in this offense.
I'm still in that process. I'm a lot further than I was in the spring, so I feel confident in what I know, but there's just so many little details that, I mean, I don't know if you ever can say, I know it all. You're always learning, and I definitely still have some more to learn.
Strong arm, he can make all the throws that I can see right now, and he's more mobile than I thought as well, too. So the guys coming off the edge on those zone reads and stuff, you really got to, be on your toes and stuff. So that's one thing I really noticed when he got in. He's more mobile than I thought he was.
Really pleased with where he's at in terms of his preparation, and then being able to carry that over to the field. We'll continue to work each and every day. When you take that big break, those 4 or 5 weeks, a lot of times those guys shut the books and they come back and they're dusting it off, and they're a lot rusty. So our guys came back. All of them have done a nice job.
It's good news to hear about the QB. Big 3 continues with the big change on defense. That unit is at a disadvantage early in camp with no pads on. But the implementation of Joe Cullen's defense is certainly underway. The Jags were really bad on defense last year, simply put. And the way they line up will be as different as we've ever seen around here. Like in the history of the organization, that 4-3 scheme that we've seen for so long isn't exactly going to be like that this coming fall. The pads go on this week, and that means the defense should have some good days ahead.
There's been a lot of retention because things hit faster. You take the training wheels off now when we're putting the systems in, and this is the 3rd time that they've heard it, and the first game will be the 4th time. But they're doing really well with the retention.
Everybody's still working hard. Everybody's still trying to learn more, and I think that's the coolest part. We got some great rookies so far. I know it's a little early, so I want to see how they kind of playing out. Day 1 between day 14 could be a lot different. So I'm excited to see how well they do, and like I said, man, how close we're all getting as a group. That's awesome to see because we're going to need everybody.
It's a new face, new culture, new environment, the help. The building's changed inside, you know what I'm saying? So you know, we can only focus on what we got here, but I love the intensity that we're playing with right now. So I know we're going to play for each other when the time's needed. And we keep believing in what, you know, what Coach Meyer and Coach Collins, you know what I'm saying, is preaching, is telling us. I feel like we're going to go a long way.
That guy, number 41, is going to have a big year, folks. Big news at camp this coming week is the pads go on. The football really starts when that happens Tuesday. There will be 2 open practices if you registered at Jaguars.com. That's Friday and Saturday. The crowds have been fantastic. Then a week from today, the Jaguars are in the stadium for a scrimmage in the morning. By the way, that'll be televised on Fox 30. On Friday on the radio, we discussed second-year player K'Lavon Chaisson in this Joe Cullen defense.
Yeah, so what I've seen from K'Lavon Chaisson so far, obviously in terms of the pass rush, like that's going to be one of the guys that you're going to depend on hands down. But keep in mind what we're talking about here and where Joe Cullen is coming from. He's coming from a Baltimore Ravens defense that also took pride in stopping the run. So when you see the first couple of days of how they're using their rotation right now on base packages, you know, Chaisson's not out there. He's more of that third down guy. I think right now the biggest thing that Chaisson has to do in training camp is show the coaches that he's physical enough, that he's determined enough to play the run just like he can play the pass. And if that's the case, then yeah, I think he's going to be your bona fide starter. I don't think it's already on paper saying he's going to be, you know, the opposite to Josh Allen. We all know that Josh Allen's starting. I mean, that's obvious. I think Chaisson for sure on passer situations, but I still think they got to see more out of him in the run game, depending what kind of defensive scheme they run.
We are in football mode here on TV and on the radio side. Join our mega cast of a radio show daily. It's not really just a radio show. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 10 different platforms. Former Jags player Austin Lane and the Action Sports Jax team. Video on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, plus on your smart speaker, your audio apps, ESPN690.com and ESPN690 in your car. And you can get that 200 miles away outside of Jacksonville. The last week might be as close as Tim Tebow has ever come to flying under the radar. Just one of 90 players trying to make an NFL team. We caught this after practice on Saturday. Tebow giving his autographed gloves to a Jags fan. I think even the harshest of Tebow critic about trying to make the Jags roster as a tight end at 34 years old has come away impressed so far with Tebow out on the practice field. He looks the part, and he has caught just about everything while we've been at practice and in the spring and in the first few days of training camp. The learning curve for a new position is steep, though, and Urban Meyer offered this critique of Tebow at tight end.
He's got good hands. In drill work, he's great. And when you get in a competitive moment, just lack of experience, he wants to body the ball. And when you get into the point where 2 people going after it, you got to go get the ball. So he's fighting through that a little bit, but he's got the skill set to catch the ball.
It's noticeable the Jags are light in the tight end position. A few capable players led by James O'Shaughnessy, but they are less than dynamic with that position currently.
That's our stadium. I'm done hearing about.
I think Urban Meyer's been fantastic trying to get everybody on the same page. Players, coaching staff, and even the fans. He's been addressing the fans in the first couple of days of camp. Fan interaction always a favorite of mine. Coach Meyer before the fans, then after as well. The players getting to see their kids, the players autographing and throwing footballs into the stands. Fans so excited for this season, especially excited about Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence. A lot of 16 jerseys out there this week and headbands as well for the former Clemson quarterback. Welcome back, everybody. Action Sports Jax Primetime. Brent Martineau here again. Practice open Friday and Saturday this week, but you have to register on Jaguars.com. It's Jags time all the time right now. Let's go to the group that fans usually roll their eyes about. It's the offensive line. Everyone is back. You might think that's a bad thing, depending on how you view this. The Jags think it's a good thing. Robinson, Norwell, Linder, Can, Taylor, playing together for a 3rd straight year. That's usually a good thing for a team. The depth is pretty good, too. Drafting of Walker Little, many people think can push Cam Robinson. Tyler Shatley's been very solid when needed. Will Richardson's been with the Jags for a couple years now. Ben Bartch just drafted last year. We'll see how good this unit can be. One thing everyone agrees on, Brandon Linder is very good and poised for a big season in 2021.
We're fortunate to have one of the best centers in the league, and he really controls the offense. And to have a young quarterback behind him, that's priceless. You know, I'm not sure you could function without non-veteran center with the young quarterback.
And that's the thing that I'm most excited about is us as a line. You know, like you're saying, we've been together for 3 years, and you can see already the first couple of days, you know, we're starting to hit on all cylinders. The communication's there and the technique's there, and it's only going to get better.
It's a good report, at least so far. We've seen a few really good catches out there at camp so far. This might be the best of them. Laviska Shenault, one-handed. He has looked sensational so far. The second-year player could really make this offense dynamic if you start looking at all the weapons Trevor Lawrence could have. He could complement DJ Chark, the fourth-year wide receiver, headed into a big year, a contract year. Chark has set himself up to get paid, and as Marcel Robinson says, DJ is in line to be the guy in this offense.
We've spent the majority of the first week of training camp talking about the new addition, the guys that the Jaguars have brought in to help this team win, the Marvin Jones of the world, the Shaq Griffins, the Trevor Lawrence of the world. But what about the guys that are already here? These guys are going to be counted on just as much, if not more, to help this team get to what we call the promised land. One of those guys is fourth-year wide receiver DJ Chark, who's expecting to have a breakout year for this team.
I worked on speed a lot. I feel the speed when I'm coming off the ball. That's something that Coach Sanjay, Coach Meyer really buckled down on, but I feel it coming off the ball, getting in and out of breaks, moving people around. You know, it's something good to add to my game as well as being shifty.
DJ's great. He wants to, you know, I heard that someone said, how can you're challenging him? I mean, that's daily. That's part of a coach's job. So he looks great. His body looks great. His strength has really improved.
For multiple days before practice started, we noticed DJ Chark getting some extra work in with Urban Meyer to help his skills in training camp. It may not necessarily have been DJ's idea in the beginning, but that has since changed.
The reality between a great corner and a great wideout is they're going to be in position to make a play on the ball, and the defensive back's trying to box you out, and the receiver's trying to box the DB out. Somebody's going to win. And whoever wins is going to either make a play or it's going to be a PI. And that's something that he needs to work on.
It's something different. We want to win. If this is the way to win, that's what we're going to do. And, you know, that's the plan. So, you know, let's do it. Let's see how it works.
Going into year 4, DJ Chark understands that this is a contract year for him, but he says there's no pressure. He's blessed, and he's ready to come out here and compete and help this team win some ball games. At Jaguars headquarters, Marcel Robinson, Action Sports Jax.
Nobody has more TV coverage in town. Action Sports Jax, half-hour shows Saturday and Sundays all year round. And during the next few weeks, 1st and 10 training camp, nightly 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. We talk Jags camp every day. Action Sports Jax, your home for Jags football. And I'll tell you this, we are just getting started with our fall lineup. We will roll it out over the next 6 weeks, and there'll be a lot of football every day right here on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Action Sports Jax primetime, Saturday at 10:30 on Fox 30.